Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the RuneQuest rules by Chaosium Incorporated. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. Strong language, mature scenes, and rune magics are on the way. As this is our Glorantha, we will remind listeners that it may vary from the one you already know and love. And now, on to the show. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways podcast. I am your storyteller Michael, as we return to our Glorantha 6 Seasons in Sartar campaign as put on by the Old Ways podcast. We want to thank you for joining us and listening. And for those of you out there who are supporting the show, we greatly appreciate your listening ears and your support as well. You can check us out over on YouTube and join the over 1,000 subscribers there and take part in all of the commentary that exists in those spaces. So we're going to get to cast introductions now. To my right.
Hi, everybody. I'm Heather. I am playing Lysanna of Cliffshield, the young apprentice healer of the Haraborn, initiate of Ronalda, and daughter of Cliffshield's healer, Nyana Call. Hail and well met, all.
And to Lysanna's right.
This is Morgan, and I play Elara of Hillbase Stead, and our pronouns are she, her, and Elara worships the great goddess of the earthquake, Marangora.
At the end of the table.
This is Vargast, son of Gordanger, initiate of Orlanth.
And last, but most certainly not least.
Hi, this is James, and I'll be playing Finn, the rapscallion and bane to many mothers.
Be careful when you become the bane to many mothers. Okay, so we're going to pick up right basically where we left off after the last episode, where the group is hurtling themselves towards the village proper, where the Feast of Sartar is being put on. In their hearts, they'll know that while they assisted as best they could with getting some of the feast portions prepared, they will know, especially those of you who are initiated to Arnalda will know that you are missing out on a major holy day. And your presence is likely, well, a wonder to some folks. Where are they? What are they doing? So this ghost child, or this apparition, or the spirit that you have been chasing, as mentioned before, completely outlegs all of you. There really isn't a way to keep up with it. But you do get the direction that it was going, back towards the village. And this is when you begin to encounter on the outskirts some of the revelers, some of the people enjoying the feast. So as you get towards that outer feast area, having lost sight of this child, I'm wondering what's the direction you're going to head specifically.
The sister did mention the figurine vendor. Guess that would probably be the best place to start. I wonder if if the vendor happens to be still around or open with the feast going on. I'm sure there's probably several, actually. Everyone looking for their own avatar of a sort to bring to their homes as part of the feast.
Mike, is it usual for shops to be open during this part of the feast?
Not during feast time. Everyone will probably be there amongst all of the tables that have been laid out. And you are really certain that getting through the feast area to the trading post, which is what Lysanna is referring to, will be really hard for you to do and without being noticed by your father, your uncle, your mother. All of them are going to be looking, at some point, going to be looking for you to make an appearance. So getting there, if that's the aim, you would likely have to steer very clear of the feast area.
Well, this shop won't be open. There'd be no point in going there if the shop isn't open.
Really? Because to my thinking, it's all the more reason to go there if the shop isn't open.
Well, what good would that do?
No one around to watch you take a look, Finn?
Wait. Are you talking about just going inside?
No. She was talking about just going inside. And Finn heads off towards the shop.
I cannot allow that.
Well, then you should probably come along, Vargast, and stop me.
Finn, what will your mother think?
The same thing every other mother in the village thinks of me right now. I'm a failure and an embarrassment. But I don't mind. Let's go.
You're not a failure or an embarrassment. They just don't appreciate your skills. That's all, Finn. Come on, Vargast.
No, I definitely say that you're not a failure.
He was successful at getting those spices from the mother, as Lysanna kind of grins and starts walking slowly, looking at Vargast as she walks back the direction Finn's going.
So it can't go without being said that the four of you do seem to, as a group, make a little bit of a wave between people, right? People have to get out of your way. People try to latch onto you. Elara, people who know you are from your stead are here, same as Finn, and so they call out to you and wave and, try to keep a joyous mood. For those of you who are maybe just a few years older, you can tell by the look of this feast that it's just not as boisterous as it normally is. There is a undertone to this that just does not seem bright. So it's not impossible for you to get past them. So you loop around far enough. You avoid the main inner ring tables, Vargast, which would be likely death to your attempt to travel anywhere because your father is going to be reaching for you or trying to figure out where the hell you've been. The trading post is really just across the road from Haraborn's smithy. So this is that Isari's trading post of Borkar, son of Guntin. And it is the place, probably the second most favored place you have in the village, Finn, and that's because this is where the Isari's trader comes and he takes in goods from other places and hears stories, and you have probably just worn out your welcome 1,000 times here, but for whatever reason, Borkar decides to continue to, indulge you, which you're very thankful for. But the post itself is dark. I mean, the shades are down, right? The big wooden front that sort of is propped up by two sticks has been placed down. You don't see any locks or anything on it because that's really just not a thing that he would do here. There's enough trust within the village that no one's going to be stealing things, at least as far as he knows. But yeah, it seems dark and not used at all.
Finn heads right over to one of the windows, begins peering inside.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll ask then, Finn, for a scan roll, if you would. Because there is something potentially interesting inside.
32 under 35.
Okay. You see, just with the edges of the firelight giving you a bit of illumination, you see that there are two figurines, just like the one the boy had talked about, the sister had talked about, that are sitting inside.
Points, nudges Elara. Look, there.
Wonderful. Now we can come back when it's open.
Phenomenal. That is a very good idea. Good advice, Elara.
Lysanna knocks on the door, just kind of gently, not really looking for an answer.
Yeah, you don't get what you're looking for.
Vargast, you have some coin on you, don't you?
Yes.
Perfect. I mean, if we're paying for the figurines, it's not like we'd be stealing them, right? That would be allowed by law, by the laws of the clan.
I can't believe you're willing to break in here and take those.
I'm not willing to break in. The door is open. I'm not breaking anything, right, Finn? And we are paying for them.
I didn't hear anything break. Finn opens the door, tries the handle of the door, and
Oh yeah, it's open.
he carefully pokes his head in, just his head at first, and looks around.
Yeah, I mean, it's dark, albeit from the light that you're letting in and some of the light that comes in from the windows. The figurines are across the trading post there, just sitting in a little nook.
Finn wipes his feet on the rug outside, makes sure that they are clean, because he doesn't even want to track dirt in here, and approaches the figurines. He at least wants to get a good look at them up close.
Okay. You get a nice, good look at them up close. They look like two, as explained before, two martial figurines that this twin sister had mentioned before. They do seem to have a strange sheen on them.
Finn picks up the one on the left, half sit.
Oh, it's cold.
Oh, dude. It's literally the sound Finn is making.
What's wrong?
That was very strange. Picks the one on the right up.
Oh, that's cold too.
Okay, so, he picks up now that he knows what they feel like, he picks up the one on the left and he tosses it to whoever is closest to him, just very gently.
Okay, Vargast, he tosses you a figurine.
Okay.
You get the same similar sensation.
It's cold.
Does that seem natural to you?
Well, no. Shouldn't be cold like this.
I wouldn't be touching it for that long, Vargast, that's for sure. I mean, you've had it way longer than I had.
I throw it back to him.
Carefully puts it down where it was. Well, while we're here, Finn, is there a back room as well?
Yeah.
Finn pokes his head into the back room.
It looks like there's a place to sit back there, probably a place for the Borkart to have his lunch. That looks like there's a little footstool too, maybe a place for him to catch a quick nap if necessary, perhaps if it's a warm day and people are in the fields and not needing his services.
But nothing particularly out of the ordinary?
No.
Okay. Head back out of his personal room.
Mike, does he keep a ledger that we know of?
Not that you know of, but you would assume as a trader he would have some sort of ledger.
You know, he probably has a ledger of where everything he buys and sells, he might have those in there.
Look around where the till is.
Yeah, there's no till here.
There's not a fancy cash register machine or... Oh, okay.
No. No fancy cash register, no till, no box. It's likely that Borkart simply keeps whatever denominations he needs on his person. Safer that way for sure.
For sure.
After they put the figurines back and they're kind of poking around, I would like to get a much closer look at those figurines.
Okay.
In fact, I would very much like to use second sight.
Okay.
To do that. So that would show me the auras of living things and enchanted items.
Yep, it sure does. It costs 3 MP.
It does.
So you take some time, work your hands over the figurines a little bit, and after a while you reach out through the earthen veil and ask Ernalda to show you what unseen echoes may still be in this area.
Earth Mother, guide my eyes. Reveal to me the life force that binds us. Show me what cannot be seen but by you.
So, a couple of things. The people around you obviously glow. I think the thing that stands out from all of this is that the figurines have some sort of leftover echo attached to them. They don't have POW, which is in RuneQuest terms, that's a stat you're looking at. You're looking for things that have POW.
Right.
So there's no willpower from them itself, but it is almost as if a powerful aura walked past them. Perhaps this spirit came and touched them. That's a pretty easy leap of logic.
Spirit touched. Okay.
It would kind of line up with a lot of the other factoids.
So we know that these are definitely the figurines and that there is something with them.
Yeah, but not so much as, I guess I want to clarify, you're not getting the feeling that they're mystically enchanted.
Right. They've basically just been touched, like spirit touched.
Yep.
So, but whatever it was powerful enough to leave that kind of residue or that kind of linger on them.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever's touched them. Okay. I have probably a shawl or, in the folds of my skirt, I will not touch them with my hands.
Mm-hmm.
I will use like the folds of my skirt, and then I will kind of wrap them in the fabric.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not touching them directly.
Okay. You can certainly easily place them in a pocket or something to that regard.
Pockets are good.
There's no reason why your skirt or your dresses can't have pockets.
As a healer, I probably have many pockets with many things for healing in them. So yes, I will place it I will clear out a pocket of healing accoutrement and place them gently in there.
Okay, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If we're taking the figurines, what are we leaving in?
Just getting to that.
Yeah.
So while they're futzing around, after I put the figurines in the pocket, just leave a pouch of coins on the counter where the figurines were. I mean, if you must, you could probably put your symbol or a note or something there if you prefer to actually leave a calling card, but just leave a pouch of coins. If necessary, we can explain why later if it comes to it. I can't imagine that they would be too angry if we actually find at least the answers to why the children are missing. You can feel it in the air. They need answers. If these are going to help, I think they might forgive us a little bit. And we're not stealing, we're paying for them. Well, technically Vargast is paying for them, but you get the point.
Fine.
It's true.
Besides, your dad will be proud of you. We can get to the bottom of all this. In fact, you'll probably be a hero. I mean, you already kind of look the part.
All right, Vargas, now that your roll has been properly buttered, how much money are you leaving?
I don't know. I probably leave. Do I have any idea what this might be worth?
The last time I checked, you're not a merchant.
No.
You could clearly take a stab at it. So that could be something like evaluate, or it could be like a craft skill. If you have any, craft wood making or something like that. But barring anything, I would give you an int ×3 roll.
I think I'll have to go with that.
Okay, so just so we're clear, just so we're all clear as players, and I'll explain it to the listeners as well. In RuneQuest, you can give someone a harder difficulty roll by, instead of giving them an attribute ×5, you can give them an attribute ×4 or an attribute ×3 if it's really tough. So what I'm essentially telling the player is, hey, this is really going to be tough for you to judge accurately.
All right, here goes. That's 66 over 45.
All right, you leave some L's, some
all right.
wheels, so to speak. You think that you've given a reasonable amount.
I'd look at his paltry amount and add 3 more, just in case.
You add a few more in. You feel better about adding more in. Finn, they have way overpaid this for these 2 figurines, but you're not really in the interest of telling anybody.
As far as Finn is concerned, what was the name of the shopkeeper here?
The shopkeeper's name is Borkar.
Borkar, he profits by this. Yes, we may have to make some explanations later, but I mean, worst case scenario, they can figure it out. And he's making out with more L than he started the day with. So, I mean, worse things have happened down the river.
Okay, do we have any luck finding the ledger?
No.
All right, let's go.
I mean, Borkar probably is at the Sartar feast at this point. He would be celebrating with the rest of the tribe.
Let's get out of here.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
Before you leave, Finn, give me one final scan roll, if you would.
04 under 35.
All right, so your skill is 40 or 35, you said?
35.
35. You have a 4?
I did.
So that is a special success.
Special.
I'm going to give you a little extra information. You're all walking away, making sure that the trading post is closed up and things look right. Before you go, Finn, before you finally do that final turn to walk back towards the inner ring, you smell something. You smell apples. And it leads your brain down a bit of a strange path. The last time you smelled apples was yesterday. And maybe you didn't think anything of it, but you do sort of walk that chain of memories back to the last time that you encountered that smell. And that was when you met or saw, not met, because you've clearly met Vargast's mother, Jorna Song Voice before. You've interacted with her before, but you saw Jorah and then Cora, the crone woman, the now follower of Tykora Kek, as all of her sons had unfortunately died in the last rebellion. But with those two women, there was another woman, and that was Dragala, who is the wife of Borkar. And you remember her as a quiet but pleasant woman, soft, smells like baked bread, honey, and then there was this scent of apples. But the key piece here, the special part of the success is this. Apples are not in season yet. That's a fall. That's a smell for later in the year.
Can I use my air affinity rune to better follow and enhance the scent?
I think you could look for runic inspiration.
Okay.
And then an attempt to make use your air rune as sort of a passive bonus to a track roll that you'd make, because track is a skill under perception.
Sure.
So you could seek runic inspiration, right? So you could roll your air rune, and if you roll under it, you could get a bonus to a potential track roll.
I think I would like to try that.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Damn, these dice are hot tonight. 08.
Okay,
Under
what
my
is your
30
air rune? Okay.
Of air.
Okay, so that is a success. It's not a special success.
No, just a success.
But it does give you runic inspiration, which means you can make a track roll at 20%. So you can gain 20 points temporarily to your track roll for this track roll.
That is a 47 under 50, my current 50.
Okay, so that's a success. You start sniffing the air. And if some of you didn't know it better, you'd think that there was something wrong with Finn, because he sort of gets into this really strange crouch position and he starts deeply inhaling back and forth, trying to locate something.
You guys
Finn?
Smell that?
I start sniffing around too.
Well, besides the animals probably out back, are we supposed to smell something? I start sniffing around. Obviously, that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Finn begins following it like a breakfast cereal mascot.
Yeah, he starts walking off like in a different direction.
Oh no, is he thinking with his stomach again?
He is heading back towards the feast area.
Hey Finn, I think maybe we should check into these things first before we start wanting to feed our bellies. Though goodness knows some of that food would be good.
Finn just shrugs as he's going.
Well, we got to get out of here anyway. He's heading that way.
Okay. So the group heads back towards the feast. Something becomes unavoidable at this point. Back at the feast, your father's mother's extended family, in effect, socially waylay you. You first, Vargast. Your father and your mother, not pelt you with questions, but they do seem to be very interested as to where you've been all day. And, there was a ceremony held and you weren't there and people asked questions. It's the nagging part, right? And that comes off probably a little grating because you're an adult now. And
yeah, I don't need to answer to where I've been.
Right. But that doesn't mean that your father and mother aren't going to try to sort of enforce those old rules. So for you, Elara, your parents have been inundated with work, just getting things prepared to come out here. Your mother wants to know where you've been, what you've been doing.
Mother, I was out looking for those missing boys. I'm sorry I wasn't here. I really wanted to be, but Marin Gore has told me herself. I felt it. I need to find these kids.
Is that what the ash pile behind the house was? Your mother doesn't look accusatory. She's genuinely wondering.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it is. I promise I will clean that up.
Well, not to worry. There's a feast here to enjoy. We all need this to raise our spirits.
Well, if you don't mind, I need to follow Finn. He's on to something. I promise I'll come back and help clean up, and I'll eat something.
Out with Finn again? Morning, night?
Oh, it's not overnight. That would be... What?
She furrows her brow. You're an adult now. You make whatever choices you decide, but when it comes to the feast table, I expect you here.
Yes, Mother. I'll be back very shortly.
So by this time, some of the group has become a little scattered. Lysanna, your mother has asked for your assistance when it comes to some of the women who've given birth already, and they are trying to take a break with the kids. And she needs you to help play shepherd just for a little while, just for a bit.
Oh, we were looking for those lost kids, Mother.
I understand it won't take more than a few minutes. They just need to get off their feet.
Okay. All right.
You see a resplendent young woman in just simple brown earthen tones. But as she passes by you, you almost don't recognize her. And it's because she's put on just a slight amount of weight. And that's Janira, who is just beginning to shape out a little.
Good festivals, and Arnaldo's blessings to you.
Oh, to you indeed.
I see you have been blessed by the goddess herself.
Yes. She seems to just carefully gesture to her stomach. I can feel the change already. It's truly something.
It was apparent at your wedding, at your wedding feast, that you are bound to have very strong and beautiful children. Arnaldo's light glows from within you. Enjoy it.
She nods to you. You can see that she's still wearing the fertility girdle that she has. She got as a gift during the marriage.
Has your mother or the mothers around you prepared you for what's to come?
Well, they are taking their time and sharing their wisdom. Although Morganeth believes there may be more than one, and so I am working to prepare for that.
That is both a blessing and I wouldn't say a curse, but a challenge. For more than one, those siblings are tighter, closer in more ways than even we healers understand. Twins are inevitably trouble because when they work together, there is no force that can stop them. But when they work opposed, then you are going to have quite the headache. It also can make things difficult, so do not tarry should any issues arise. Please have them call for my mother if you need to, or even myself. I can help to some extent.
I will. Thank you. She eases down onto a bench and tries to take a breath, basically.
Also enjoy this for if there are more than one. In short order, even breathing shall be most difficult. Take your time. Keep at ease. Eat and drink while you still can. Sleep as much as mothers will allow. And we look forward to seeing how blessed you shall be.
She adjusts her hair and then just sort of almost subconsciously rubs her stomach and looks off at the feast fires and some of the other festival goers. Finn, you're continuing to track hard. You have got this scent. It leads you, oddly enough, back to Vargast. Or in the general direction of Vargast. And that's when you sort of notice that he is near his father, Gordangar, and the rest of the inner ring table. And as you can imagine, Borkar is here.
Finn grabs one of the pitchers of wine from one of the serving people as they're milling about and drops into the flow of refilling cups and chalices around the table.
You hear a couple of the inner ring folks speak up, Savan being one of them, Vargast's uncle. More here, Finn. Bring it over here.
Of course, uncle.
You pour him a
heady,
healthy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. He takes a moment and gives a deep drink and then sets it down. Seems to look at you just for an extra moment, and you see that there are clouds sort of walk over his eyes for a minute, within his eyes. He says, Orlanth has blessed you with something. What are you up to? I feel the air move on you.
I'm locating. I'm finding something.
Well, best not to tarry. He takes the jug from you.
Indeed. And Finn continues to weave through the crowd, following this as best as he can with all the other people smells.
Elara, while you're trying to get righted back towards the group, you're going around to stay out of the middle of the thick of this because it'll be faster to get back over to where Finn is across the festival area if you kind of go around some of the other tents and tables that have been set up. And you feel a cold hand grab your arm. Hard.
Give a start and look back.
You give a start, you look back, and beside you, not but a foot or so away from you, you see an apparition. You see Andrin. He looks like a normal flesh and blood child, but his flesh is pale, gaunt. His eye sockets are empty, except for black flames. And you hear him say,
"Come to the woods where you first saw Andrin. Come tonight. Do not bring any of the men, or Ashart, son of Baroth, will suffer for it."
And the image discorporates.
So she said to come to the woods at midnight?
She did not. She said, come to the woods where you first saw Andrin.
Got it.
Come tonight.
Come tonight. And not to bring the men.
Yes.
And it sounds like one of the boys is still alive.
It does seem that way.
Did she say Ashra? Or did I say that incorrectly?
She said Ashhart, son of Baroth, will suffer for it. So that does seem to suggest
somebody's alive.
That somebody's alive, yeah.
Okay, I stop in my tracks and I stop searching for Finn. And I start looking for Vargast.
Oh, he's right over there. It looks like his mother is wagging her finger, sort of.
Is he facing towards me or is he facing away?
I'll play high or low with you.
All right, high.
Okay, that's a 5 out of 8, so that's high. He is pointed towards you.
Yeah, I start waving my hands. Come over here. Like, I'm mouthing it, not yelling it, because then everybody else would hear me, but, waving my hands.
So when I see a crazy person waving her hands?
Well, I mean, crazy's relative, but sure.
Yeah. Okay, I go, mother, see, look. And I grab a thing of wine and I start drinking. See, I'm enjoying myself here at the feast. In fact, I see some people that need to be joined to have some more joy in their lives. I will see you shortly.
She furrows her brow. I'm gonna roll her truth rune real. She looks at you, a little funny. Before you get out of earshot, she says, "Be careful with initiates of Marin Gore, my friend."
I'm always careful, mother. You know this.
Right. She gives you a knowing smile. And you're not really sure if your mother believes you or not. But you manage to break the gravitational control of your parents.
Okay, I head over to Elara.
There she is. You are there.
Hey, we need to gather up the others. I was just visited by something that looked like Andrin, but wasn't Andrin, and they want me and Lysanna to come to the woods tonight. Whoever or whatever this was wants Lysanna and I to come to the woods tonight, and they don't want you and Finn. They said if we brought the men, that Ashhart would probably die. So that suggests to me that he's still alive. And so, yeah, we just need to do this. Let's go find the others.
Okay. I start looking around.
Yeah. Given your size advantage, it's pretty easy to pick out where people are. You weren't terribly far from where Finn was. He has sort of circled around to a portion of the main table, and he's, I don't know, it's a good question. Finn, what are you doing? I don't want to speak for you.
Actually, Finn has positioned himself next to the shopkeeper that owns the figurines currently and is taking in the conversation and subtly refilling wine when he needs to in order to
Certainly
lubricate the conversation, as it were.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to drink terribly deeply at this point, but you do hear him talk. Orkar has an amazing amount of stories. He travels many, many cities, and you smell that smell, but it's gotten faint. And you look around and you see all these people here at this table, and you think for a second, well, maybe it's all these sweaty human bodies that are fouling my tracking. But it doesn't take a lore master to see what's not here. Orkar's wife is not here.
Yeah. That is something that concerns Finn a little bit, although he keeps the big smile on his face and tops everyone's wine off before he leaves the jug in front of someone who probably should not have a jug of wine as he leaves. One of the people who have not yet gone through their ordeal and therefore is not yet an adult. Here, drink this. I gotta go find someone. And goes and finds Vargast.
Okay. With your time, Lysanna, just about up at assisting many of these new mothers make sure that they get something to eat and their children be tended to, you can see, just not far from you there, that many of your cohorts are beginning to gather back up.
First, was there any, because women talk when they sit around.
No.
I'm sure was there any part of the conversation that turned towards the missing children? And
yeah, I mean, Andrin gets mentioned, so does Ashhart. A lot of these instances prey on the minds of the women here. And while Janira's likely bountiful harvest comes in the next few seasons, there is some concern about the number of Haraborn who are getting pregnant.
Does it seem to be increasing?
Likely the opposite, actually. Like, there are women, the women that talk around you, the stuff you hear is obviously very positive for what is happening to Janira, but you hear a lot of wanting, right? You hear a lot of, I've gone through this process and this process with Morganeth, and she says, this is what I'm to do, and I do that, and then it hasn't happened yet. There's a lot of that. And that's probably frustration mixed with hope. But it is another facet of the things that seemingly are happening for the Haraborn that are not good.
Okay.
But you get liberated, so to speak, of your duties and are thus allowed to run and do the things that you need to do.
Can Lysanna come out and play? Yes, she can. Okay, so when I'm allowed to give the kinders back to the mothers and escape the enclosures, I will look for I'm going to grab myself a quick drink and probably grab a bit of fruit, something I can eat on the way, because I think it's been a while since any of us have had any kind of food.
It has been. In fact, you went to a feast. You took a beautiful and healthy wild boar and then made it into a feast of the dead, cooked it until it was burned.
Charred, yes.
So you have been through the ringer today.
Yeah.
As far as your appetite goes.
So actually, while I'm passing out food and drink and keeping an eye on the children and everything else, I am enjoying some of it for myself. So at least I am reasonably fed and watered, and so to speak. And by the time I escape, then I grab a couple more, grab a little, maybe another, a mug of something not too strong, something, and we'll head over to find my friends.
And there they are.
It's not that I mind children, except I mind children. But they're not my children, so then I can give them back. Can we get out of here now before they put us back to work? She drinks up.
Please.
All right, I guess I will lead us out of the crowd of people.
Okay. Where are you going?
A side street or something, because I have no idea what we're doing yet. Other than I can't go.
You can't go.
We could.
Anybody mention that? Just making sure.
Well, we got to get to a private place first before we talk about it.
I do know a couple of really good dark corners.
We will assume that the group is able to get away from the main throng of people to have a private conversation with the ambiance of a festival and all of the hooting and hollering and drinking that goes on behind you.
I almost hate to leave, but I know we need to find them. So did anybody else find anything out? Because all I know is people are not happy. I think they're scared. I guess they should be.
Well, I did come to one conclusion. Did any of you notice who wasn't sitting at the table?
I kind of had my hands full with the kids and
No,
the mothers.
I was too busy getting lectured.
Elara, did your parents give you the riot act as well?
Yeah, but after I explained what was going on, they were okay with me following you, Fen.
It was so much easier. It's so much easier that my parents have given up on trying to corral me. Anyway, the shopkeeper's wife.
What about her?
That's exactly my question. What about her?
Are you saying that she wasn't there?
I didn't see her. And I served quite a bit of wine to quite a bit of important people at the table.
So where do you think she might have gone?
Or what do you think might have happened to her?
You don't think that whatever this is moved up to adults, do you? Or that she's behind this?
I bet we can find out in a little while.
What are we doing in a little while?
Well, we aren't doing anything. As I encompass the four of us, my hands, and I say we, as in Lysanna and I gesture to her and I. We have a date with some entity in the woods at night. No men allowed.
No men allowed?
Well, Vargast, how do you feel about night fishing? The river nearby, I happen to know a spot. The net gill are actually delicious.
Yes, I think that's a good time.
And I don't know about you, but I haven't eaten anything yet today.
Oh, I had some meat back there.
I was serving food to the mothers, so I kind of grabbed some while I was there. They didn't seem to mind. There was plenty. It was good.
I think, is it getting on towards evening now, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, ladies, Vargast and I will head to, it's the Horsehead Bend, right above the north there, to the north there, near the copse of trees. Elara, you know the place.
That's not too far.
Not at all. I will grab Vargast. I'll grab my pole, and for fishing, we'll grab us some dinner. And I think I have a few spices left over, the non-deadly variety. We'll find out.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So, Laura, as we head out, why are we going into the forest alone without them?
Well, the entity that grabbed my arm, that was in the shape of Andrin, said that this is what we must do to see Ashhart alive again.
Ashhart is alive?
That is what they stated.
That's okay. Okay, that's good. I take a look at her arm real quick. Just kind of pull up her arm. Any marks or anything? No. Okay. Well, if this will bring one of the children home, then I guess this is what we do.
This is our quest.
Okay. You go to the edge of the woods. Then you head off to fish. Nearby. When you get to the edge of the woods, Elara, you see this apparition. This small, he's likely maybe 20, 30 yards from you now.
If he's facing us, is his eye still blackened out?
Yep.
Can I roll for spirit lore to see what type of being or other spirit or something that might be able to embody the one, I guess, take the shape of a spirit of a child?
Yeah, you can roll.
Okay.
See if there's anything you marry.
Sweet. I got a 15 out of 35.
Okay, so standard success. There are a few things which could take the shape. So spirits come in a myriad of shapes, sizes, and purposes. But that said, this does not look like a apparition or a ghost that you had heard stories about. The skin is pale, but the spirit apparition looks like a real body. So that's a little strange. Normally, when you encounter spirits and they're around you, whether they're benevolent or whether they're not, their body is free flowing all the time. They appear as a quite ghostly apparition. This thing looks solid. And so that gives you a little pause. That doesn't make sense. It beckons you closer.
Do I see this, or does just Elara? Oh, Elara. Okay, both of us actually see. Is that what you saw?
Oh yes, and don't be fooled. That is not Andrin.
No, I'm pretty sure the eyes, or lack thereof, give that away.
Oh no, there are eyes. It's just black flame.
Yeah, like I said, the eyes kind of give that away. Okay. Well, I don't think we have a choice. And I step forward.
Okay.
Ronalda, Mother of all, guide our feet. Protect us in this venture. Receive our bones into your embrace should things go really bad.
And I just nod and I follow along with Lysanna.
Okay. You close about half the distance and the boy's form transforms into a very small ball that hovers in the middle of the air. Bluish ball, sort of bobbing up and down, and it bobs its way into the forest at a fairly slow pace.
Would we know of things like will-o'-wisps and things like
Sure.
that?
Yeah, it's reasonable that there were spirits within the forest that might be will-o'-wisps or akin to them.
Okay.
You can even hear, not far, but you can hear that someone in the river nearby is fishing.
I cling on to that. Okay. And follow forth.
So the small blue ball of flame bobs its way through the trees. It leads the both of you to a rock face. And just when you think that there's nowhere else for it to go, it bobs behind one of the rocks. And when it does, it puts what is effectively illumination against another rock face behind it, which is a fairly clear showing that there is some sort of cave or passageway back here.
And I move forward.
Okay.
I follow. Hesitantly, but I'm following.
The two of you take your final steps here against the rock face. You can still, just about the position where Finn and Vargast are fishing at. You know when you step behind this rock face, they'll now be out of shouting range. They won't be able to hear you in here. But you do so. You turn the corner, and this tunnel runs about 5 meters or so before turning back. It is pitch dark, save for the vestiges of illumination that ball of blue flame left.
Continue to move forward cautiously, making sure my feet, as they come down on every step, kind of in my mind, I'm grounding each step as I go.
It's the only thing you can do to not be shaken, stepping into a dark.
Trusting in the Mother to guide my feet, to hold me steady. The earth is solid and shall keep me grounded even when fear surrounds me. Aldria, goddess of the woods, may your wrath be at bay for what is in the shadows and what we are to face. Whatever that may be, falls within your domain.
You continue 5 meters. It turns north. As it does so, There is a slight change in the illumination level in this cave. There's something deeper here that gives off some sort of illumination. Taking those next steps forward, you can see a few meters into the room, there does seem to be a small, dim light at the center of this cave. And you can't totally make out what it is, but there is that blue ball at the back end of the cave, sort of bobbing up and down, past this thing which is illuminated. Maybe it's a pile of sticks. Maybe it's a half-dead tree in here.
Yeah, I will go around. Is it circular in the cave?
No, it's irregular, right? So imagine the cave is not square by any means. It's sort of a cut-in space. After making that turn 3 meters, the cave widens, and then it widens again. And in that second portion where it's widened, there is this thing that is illuminated.
Wood plant lore?
You're not close enough yet.
Okay.
As you get closer, you both realize that it's not a plant and it's not a tree. There is a hairless corpse of a bear, and mounted to it, there's this mountain goat skull. Enormous wings have been fashioned from behind it by these irregular tree branches. And there's something hanging from these branches. And you get the distinct smell of rotten skin.
Is there anything we can roll in lore that tells us?
Yeah, you're not going to have probably a skill that would allow you to divine what this would be. Simply because you probably have never encountered it before. I guess I'll give you both an int ×4 roll. I consider this fairly difficult, but I'm going to say that it's possible you may have heard stories of something like this.
That's not good.
No? What would you get?
So my int ×4 is 52, but I get a 96, which is awesome.
Oh, okay. So 52. So it's not a fumble. It's just a simple failure. Lysanna?
I got a 90. Right there with you.
The same is true. So yeah, you're both sort of kind of befuddled about what this is, just for a moment. Beyond it, though, deeper in, you see something you did not expect. You see a young boy suspended upside down over a blood-stained earthenware vessel. He does not appear to be conscious.
Is he cut?
No.
As in, it's like prepared. Nothing's been done yet.
Yep.
Is that Ashheart?
Yes, this is Ashheart. You hear a voice from the back of the cavern. 2 beautiful sows, how wonderful for you. And then something steps out of the shadow. It is something 8 feet tall and grossly feminine. I'm so happy you could join me for dinner, the ogress says. And that is where we'll call this episode to a close. So next time on 6 Seasons in Sartar, I have a feeling that our Earth Priestess are going to get a chance to mix it up. We'll see if perhaps they need to call for reinforcements. Thank you, and good night.